today we're going to be talking about the Torso S-4. I got the Torso S-4 late last year off the recommendation of JayVe Montgomery, a local saxophonist, woodwind-ist here in town, big in the creative music scene. His taste, choice in gear, everything is exceptionally musical. I actually have him featured on today's video. I really was hoping that JayVe would go really deep on the S-4, and as you'll see, he does. Talking about the basics, what makes it special, what makes it unique, but also just how to make music with it. I was taken aback at just how capable of a machine it is already out of the box. Because if you don't know, the promised feature set is yet to be fully delivered, although the version 2.0 is coming out soon. So we're on the horizon of that. So this has not been updated with the 2.0 version just yet, but that's okay. So anyway, we'll have JayVe talking about the Torso S-4, but then also I've been making a ton of music with all three of these boxes in tandem. Once we kind of go deep on the S-4, we'll talk about kind of how I use the S-4 in a DAW-less setup, you know, making electronic music alongside my arsenal of woodwinds and effects. So yeah, let's take it over to JayVe. Take it away, JayVe.
We got 5 devices here. So we got tape, you can loop. If you're in poly mode, you can basically use this as a sampler. The second one's Mosaic. This is like your granular device. Then we have Ring, which is a filter with some resonance in it. Then we have Deform, which has your compression and your noise. And then Vast, which is delay and reverb. Let's start off with tape. Right now we have it in play so that when I hit record, it automatically starts recording. If I press stop and hit record, you'll see it's paused waiting for me to play, just like a tape. So let's turn this audio up. The way you get to the second page of the devices is just by hitting the device button. So let's turn up the level. Let's see if we can't make this loop. All right, cool. We got something there. Right here, this SOS, sound over sound, is basically like frequency or feedback in overdub mode. With this at 0, when I hit overdub, the sound that's already there will remain. As I go lower, it's basically going to take that many decibels off per pass. Let's do a little overdub. Coming in a little hot there with the flute. This is a perfect time to think about compression. We're gonna go to Deform, turn up this compression. We can drop the pitch, or the speed rather. And I dropped that by an octave because I held control first. If I change tempo, it will change the speed. Yeah, let's look at the granular stuff. All of the granular stuff is basically in spray and pattern. If you press on the button, you can get other options. So right here, the rate can be straight, triplet, or dotted. And I like my rate to be quite slow sometimes. We'll play with the slow one so we can hear what's happening. As our size is smaller, our grains are smaller. I want big grains though. And now the pitch of the grains, if you push on the pitch parameter, you can pick a scale. Right now it's on fifths, so if we move this knob, it's going to move by groups of 5 semitones. 5 and 7. would be a great time to look at the modulation. We're going to modulate the pitch parameter. So you hit modulation, and to change the different modulation styles, you're going to hold mod and the modulation 1, 2, 3, or 4. And those are represented by the shapes here. Right now I'm in random. Select that. I can do wave, random, ADSR. I'm going to pick random. Let's smooth it out. I can pick which parameters I'm going to modulate. For parameters that can go left or right, negative or positive value, if you hit control, you can send your modulation possibilities in both directions. So you see here, we have a 20% chance of the pitch going up or down in fifths, randomly in fifths. And that's the pitch of the grain. While we're here, let's get a little creative and modulate the start. And I'm going to first make this smaller. And I'm going to start in the middle, just so when I'm traveling around, I don't get a whole lot of silence on either side of the start. And this is just basically quantization of your start place. Here the tempo can be sync, stretched, or free. Let's turn up our length so that we do get some silence. Let's modulate the speed. And let's pick a scale for modulating the speed. And then let's pick something strange so you can really hear that it actually is moving. Let's stop modulating the starts. You can do that by hitting clear and touching your parameter. Let's check out filter real quick. Before we mess with the resonance, we're gonna mess with waves. Let's play around with modulating a little bit of noise. The filter also plays with scales. And you'll hear that best when we start to play with the resonance. Just to show you we're still playing with the same sound. Give them a long reverb decay. long as we have monitor on, you can play over this. Let's turn the sound over sound to something like -12. Clear will help you zero out any parameters, modulation, the buffer. Clear in device, it'll zero everything out. But let's take out the buffer. You can see the size of the reverb moving with the shape. It's not something I do all the time for drastic measures. Let's see what's happening. On the mix, now we can send track 1 either to itself or we can send it to track 2. We can send it to any of the other tracks. Let's send it to track 2 and see what's happening. That's with one track sending audio to another track. We only went over one modulation source. We have these other 3 here. We can modulate the levels of each track. Let's do that. Cool, so that's track 1's level being modulated by the first modulation source, and track 2's level being modulated by the second modulation source. So yeah, the Torso S-4. It's lovely.
JayVe.
Yeah.
JayVe. Holy cow.
Yeah, man.
Why don't we just get started and kind of see? This is how I've been making music a lot, mainly for fun, but also for a lot of the games I'm working on. Beat-based kind of music, but also experimental and ambient and cinematic music. So I'm gonna hook up the Prophet to the Torso. Anything coming in, like a mic or a synth, is going into the Torso S4, which I can turn on and off monitoring. And then this audio is going into the audio into the Digitone, which doesn't do anything. It's just getting routed into the Digitakt recorder that is effectively a line in. So I have that on, turned on, all the time. So the Digitakt is kind of my mix bus. Something quicker. I was trying to find an idea. Be cool with like a filter thing. That's cool. Well, let's do something like that. All right, that's our idea. Great. Let's lay down a beat on the Digitakt real quick. Quantize. I need everything to be quantized on drums. Here we go. So hit record, locks to the beat. One more time. I always do it twice just to be safe. Cool, so we got the idea captured. Now we can play around with this if we want to. I mean, honestly, this sounds great as is, but it's kind of fun just to check out what all we can do within the Torso world. I'm gonna turn down the drums. I always start with messing around with the Mosaic. Man, even the slightest little thing gives it vibe. Especially with the Prophet being mono, with just like a few knob twists gives it that dimensionality. Without it being reverb or a chorus, it's sort of its own thing. So we could go even further. I don't want to add an EQ to it just this second, but a little compression. Let's keep going. So I'm going to add some bass. So I'm going to go to track 2. I'm going to do the bass sound here on Digitone. That sounds good. I'm just going to do mono low. That's cool. I just matched the kicks a little bit. You know what I can do? I can change the time to get in tune with this. I didn't think about that. That's cool. So I problem solved with tempo. Before I do a melody, I'm going to double that little top line in the synth. So again, if this is just a live looper, we got that tracked, we can go to the next one, come to the melody. And I could do a little improv, which is my typical thing. Set this to octaves. Cool. So you can see how this all plays really well together. I can use these boxes to get ideas down quickly and really take advantage of this with the clock sync and with the multi-effects to get live instruments and hardware synths in here quickly, just to get an idea down. Obviously I could take this, put it in a DAW, track it out, use Overbridge, whatever, but just to get an initial idea down for a vibe and for a jam, for a song, for a composition, It's just so much fun. So thanks for watching. Highly suggest checking this out. Don't sleep on it. 2.0, the firmware is coming out really soon. That way you'll get into the more performative, more scene-oriented type of way to use this thing. But that's not stopping me from really getting a lot of bang for the buck out of the Torso S4. So highly recommend if you're into that kind of thing, into this kind of way of making music. Thanks for watching.